Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by Bet365. Bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when you do with the promo code Leading Off. It's me, Joey P. That's the Welsh, and it's not the NFL draft right now. We're taking a break from that. Going to try to keep my voice nice and calm today. No Angry Joe today because I got another 5 hours later tonight of NFL draft coverage on our main channel on Fantasy Pros from 6 to midnight, which is pretty much how Thor Nystrom was yesterday when JJ McCarthy got drafted by the Vikings. But Welsh, again, the betting gods giveth and the betting gods taketh away. After a 9-0 day, 1-5, boo, terrible. Got rained out in another one, but there's a lot of rookie stuff going on. You did the rookie stuff yesterday with the prospecting, but we've got even more rookie news, so I'm excited to get to that. But let's start with the Dodgers, shall we? Because Mookie Betts 2 for 3, his 6th stolen base already of the month. Freddie Freeman, 2 for 3 with an RBI double. And of course, Yamamoto, who has certainly turned things around. So I think the concerns in the first few outings for Yamamoto, I think, are definitely subsided now. 7 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings. What do you think of the Dodgers' performance against the Nats?
Oh, the Dodgers are good. Breaking news is the Dodgers are a pretty good team with Mookie Betts and Ohtani and everything like that. Yeah, I think the bigger focal point I come back to is Yamamoto, who, by the way, almost had his head taken off. We had a 105 off of Eddie Rosario go straight at him, and he caught it. And then they brought the trainers out after to be like, are you good? Because everyone was like, holy crap. Yamamoto's reflexes, all that yoga and whatever he does out there is pretty solid. But to your point, getting back to that first series with some of those blowups, there were some major concerns from a lot of people, though he is stabilized now. Almost 32% K percentage, which is top 10 percentile in the league with a 5% walk percentage. That, friends with the math, is right around a 26% K minus walk percentage, which is phenomenal. ERA and expected ERA are like just about in the same general vicinity. I kind of think he's just still getting going. He is still getting rocking. He's got every single pitch he throws over 20% whiff rate. And his other two, besides his four seam, have a 36% whiff rate. Those are great numbers with a great offense behind. He's stabilizing. Maybe he's not going to be like, the top, 7 overall starting pitcher. And, he was really getting inflated in drafts. But I actually think there's a decent opportunity he might return relative value to where he was drafted, as they all keep falling off. You got him at SP 15. He's going to inversely be SP 10, and that'll be okay because there's no pitchers left. It's Survivor for pitchers right now.
You start chopping off the top, that when Strider's out and Cole's out and the head of the beast is out, it's easier to move up the chain. Here's an interesting one from Jerry. Somebody offered me Trout for Yamamoto. Should I accept? Ooh, this is a doozy. A lot of this has to do with format, has to do with roster construction too. And
do you have any other pitchers?
Well, that's the thing, Jerry. If you have, this is for Jerry or for anybody. If you have a great stable of pitchers and you need the offense, sure. I think this is a very good trade. If it's the inverse, I think you sit there and you go, look, I don't have a lot of good starting pitching. As great as Mike Trout is, there's some risk on the back end, just like there's risk in the back end of the season with Yamamoto. I think we can agree on that. So I think this is a fair trade at the very least, just in a vacuum. What do you think?
Yeah, I lean Trout. Like in a vacuum, sure. But if you want to weigh this to like your own personal team needs, yeah, absolutely. Like because he got offered Trout for his Yamamoto, right? So
yes,
if maybe you got some Cutter Crawfords or filling out the back of your rotation, Tanner Houck, you just had you've hit on a bunch of those Jared Jones, and you have the flexibility and you have the cojones to move a starting pitcher and actually say the words, I have SP depth, which is a crazy thing to say right now. I want Trout in a nutshell because I think even though I've been out here being like, hey, if you are a worrywart about Trout and the injuries and stuff, you can move him. But I want to tell him for tippy top. I think Trout, he's easily pacing over 40 homers. I think he can put up 130.
Well, there's the pace. Fred Dinger has it. 54 homers and 71 RBIs.
And the RBIs are embarrassing. But I think the fear people are like, he's not going to play 100 games. Me, if I get 130 out of him and I miss even some of those, I still think that's okay. And I still think those are probably top 2 round numbers.
So I am still head. It's less okay when there's playoffs. It's okay in Roto. Yes. But that's what I meant in the beginning when I said format has a lot to do with this deal. And that's the thing, deals like that especially just don't happen in vacuums. It's just not the way you can evaluate them. Justin Verlander.
Well, hold on. I gotta give a shout out on your draft last night.
Uh-huh.
You guys did the Spaceballs reference.
We
speaking
did.
of vacuums and
The Mega Made.
A plus on the Mega Made. I'm a huge
show went from
Spaceballs
suck to
guy.
blow. I told him thanks to him.
I saw when Thor brought that up, and like I saw this smile on your face, and I was like, Joe is waiting to make a suck to blow comment,
and then I wasn't going to, and then
I could tell you weren't.
Time, and I was like, well, now I have no choice. Also, I think of all the things I call, a lot of people had different opinions of their favorite thing that I called Derek Brown last night. I called him Mr. Peanut. I called him, children's magician. But I thought that the best of all of the jabs that I threw at him was clearly the groom at a Florida swamp wedding.
That was my favorite one.
I thought that was
he had a full top hat, and he had the shirt, the dress up shirt thing that's going on. It's a classic leading off bit, to be honest with you. Dressing up.
Well, you don't see nothing yet because Thor and Derek tonight have matching outfits. So excellent. For night 2.
Well, make another Spaceballs reference, please.
I will try. Justin Verlander didn't give up a run in 4 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, no decision against the Cubbies. Luis Castillo struck out 6 innings, 2-run balls. So Castillo, Verlander very much on track. A little closing time. Some fellow named Mason Miller, who I just looked, he's still not even 80% rostered on CBS. I don't understand what's going on here.
Points leagues don't like super value closers.
But some overvalue them. It doesn't matter. All I know is 4-out save. His ERA is 1.59. The WHIP is 0.97. You have 23 strikeouts and 4 walks. That's better than some starters right now. Like Seth Lugo would kill for that strikeout to walk ratio over 11 innings. Okay, like I don't care. Hector Neris, another save for him. We talked about him. And said, okay, it seems to be going. He was in my waiver wire video. If you missed it, you can go watch it on the channel where you have our weekly waiver wire video. And Andres Munoz, good outing from him, which he kind of needed, I feel like, scoreless 9th inning. So that's good for him. Anything else in terms of the closers that was worth noting yesterday from what you saw?
No, I mean, I think you nailed them. One thing that was funny was I saw Mason Miller talking, and they were asking if he felt the difference between throwing like 100 or 102 or 101 and 102. And he was just like, no, it feels about the same. And I'm like, yeah, it probably feels just like a cannon, like an absolute cannon shot out. But I love the idea. And then he said, the only time I really notice is the batter's reaction. And then I might be like, oh, I might have threw that one a little bit harder, like, 103. But yeah, I think the closing time we've kind of hit full throttle here. Just going back to the Diamondbacks as well, just if people happen to have gotten rid of Paul Sewald, rehabbing back, he should be back and instituted instantly. So Kevin Ginkel, I think, has a very, very short timeline right now. The clock is ticking for no more saves very soon.
Yeah, if you went full Ginkel, you're hurting a little right now. Yeah. Aaron has a question. Aaron wants to know, Loperfido going to get called up soon? Worth holding? I say yes, he is worth holding. I think that when the guy in front of you is hitting 0.065, there's a good chance you're going to get the call sooner than later, Welsh.
You can check out my article. But I mean, I'll just say, yeah, I think it's coming soon. It's funny because in my top 10 prospects to stash article, and we have a video. I don't think we talked about Loperfido yesterday, but when I was doing the article, I was kind of like tempering down.
When you say, I say Loperfido, you say Loperfido, and I feel like that's a guy named Lou. Last name Perfido when you say it.
Yeah, well, it's like an Italian thing. You get excited about this Italian guy that's going to come.
Hey, it's Lou Perfido. How you doing? What's going on?
But I was ready to kind of like be a little bit dismissive. I will say he had from like, I think it was April 16th down to April 24th. He had dropped his average from 333 down to 256. His strikeout rate was over 32%. And then that day, I actually had to go and update my article because then he hit 2 homers. He smashed 2 homers. The negatives are the strikeout rate, and I think some bad swings that are going to come in. The positive, huge barrel numbers in AAA and massive homers. And he's been working at first base. So he is like, I think I have him at 4 or 5 in the stash article. Like, I think the talent players are above him, but he actually might have one of the closest timelines. I don't think he's a must add in every single capacity. Cause like I said, I think there could be some batting average issues, but he's a pretty incredible talent, and working at first base is telling because, we said Abreu's done. I think they'll just keep him around to just, morale.
Oh, I don't. I think he's DFA'd. I think they're going to just let him go, period.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and he'll catch on somewhere else. Somebody will sign him somewhere else this year. I don't know
White
who
Sox
that's going
bring
to
him
be.
back.
You know what? Maybe, but somebody will, because there will be another injury and somebody will try to give him a shot. But he is not long for the Astros. It's not happening. All right, here's some fun stuff. Alex Cora said that Senadine Rafaela is now the everyday shortstop. So Welsh was way ahead of the curve on that. Also, the Astros plan to demote JP France. No surprise there. We talked about that earlier this week, and they did just indeed do that. Now, rookie some busy stuff here. Jack Leiter, 8 Ks, 6 shutout innings. So he's the king of AAA right now. We'll see if he gets another shot at some point. But with Max Scherzer's imminent return, it might take some doing. Pete Crow-Armstrong got called up yesterday. We gave him the big salute. He hit a 2-run homer. Big moment for him. Now, he's not a big power guy, Pete Crow-Armstrong. What'd you make of this debut for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's never been what he's been built with. It's contact. It's average. Like, that's going to be his play. He can run some. The only problem with it, because I used to be a pretty big defender of Pete Crow-Armstrong because everybody hated the bat. And it's like, listen, what he does, even if he's hitting across his body, he's getting a lot of doubles. He's going to have some homers. He can steal. He might not be, this incredible, awesome, high counting stats guy, but he could walk himself into like a 15 year. But then the bat regressed and it continued to regress. And I kept hearing just bad things about the bat and how far behind it is and that no power was really developing. So I would temper some of it. The only plus is he's not going to be losing a job anytime soon because Bellinger with that fractured rib is going to be out, quite a while. And he's a great defender, Pete Crow is. So I'm open to it, but I don't think it's a power play, even though he hit that first homer. I'd love for him to hit higher in the lineup, but I think hitting lower in the lineup with little power projection, I think it's got to be like a pretty barren format that I'm going to be picking up Pete Crow. I don't mean to be like super dismissive about him, but it has to be kind of barren for me.
Well, speaking of dismissive, you were dismissive of Simeon Woods Richardson. He gave up 2 runs on 7 hits in 5 innings. Now, it was against the White Sox, but it was 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. So is this a trap where everybody's going to put some fab on Simeon Woods Richardson and be disappointed in 2 weeks?
Yes, this is the Jack meme.
Yes,
it absolutely is. Let's not discount how bad the White Sox are. They are the worst. You know how we're like, ooh, look at the 8. No, White Sox, the worst right now. So I think there has to be, it's like it's like the metric thing, going from, what is the thing I'm trying to say? The equation, help me, Joe, help me. The metric to pay. We have to do an analysis of White Sox runs versus what real team runs are. I'm breaking here on a Friday, Joe, and you're just.
I know. I was hoping there was a Welshism coming, so that's what
I was trying to avoid it. I was trying to not say all the things that were in my brain.
I'm trying to exasperate the Welshism. I wanted it to happen. I was manifesting it, and it didn't quite happen. Are you looking for equivalency? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah,
is that the word?
It doesn't matter. White Sox stink. It doesn't matter. What you do against a White Sox is not what you're going to do against other teams. That's the big thing.
So yes, it's grading on a curve is what you're talking about.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a sliding scale.
Trouble with the curve. Trouble with the words. Trouble with the
curve. That's that Peyronie's disease, the trouble with the curve.
Peyronie?
Peyronie's, yeah. Don't you see those commercials for the Peyronie's disease? They're on all the time on all the TV channels.
I'm hungry. Peyronie sounds like a good sandwich.
It's not quite a sandwich. Those of you in the chat, you know what I'm talking about there. All right, let's get to Padres prospect Leodalis de Vries.
Leo de Vries.
Is it just de Vries? Okay.
It's Leo de Vries, yeah.
All right, Leo. No, I want to say Leodalis because that's
you can say whatever you want. I can't talk, so you just make up words.
Yeah, well, it's all right. So he's 17 years old and he is playing in A-ball right now.
Yeah.
And he went 2 for 5 with a triple and 4 ribbies in single A. That is impressive, 17-year-old. Where is he right now in your dynasty rankings? Like, how aware are people of this player and how aggressive should they be on him going forward?
Okay, so you do have to remember.
I mean, 17 is young, but still.
Yeah, it is. But I rank dynasty prospects in a grand scope. Not, it's usually a 3 or 4 year window. It's not just this year. So there are some people that rank predominantly for proximity. I don't. So beware when I tell you this. I have Leo de Vries as a top 60 prospect. Might even be top 50 prospect overall. He was in this last international class, and I've had him inside my top 100 the entire time. So he's always been a top 100 prospect for me after, making his official signing on January 4th or 12th or whatever the hell it was in January. And this took the Ethan Salas path, because I saw him out in camp with the Padres. He skipped all of the Dominican Winter League stuff, played an extended. He's skipping complex ball and going straight to A ball. It's the exact path of Ethan Salas, but the offensive upside for Vries is bigger. It is bigger. There were comps, frankly, to like what a lot had seen on the positive side of like Wander Franco early on. He's got an incredible eye. He's a big kid. He's running some, and you're seeing what he can do on those lower levels. If you're not going to throw him, crazy big pitch mix stuff, he is demolishing fastballs. He's demolishing, the easy eye right now, and 4 RBIs early on. This is a guy that's going to move to high A this year and could jump up even to like Double-A, where he could get not going to get called up, but could perceivably be called up, like Ethan Salas. So think of what Ethan Salas is doing, but now think of this as a more mature bat, and that's why he's so exciting. He legit could be a top 25 like prospect by the end of the season.
Right?
What's that?
He's got to be like a 3-year window, right? Like more of a 2027 kind of guy. I mean, maybe pushing into 2026, but that seems unlikely, although he is an A-ball already.
Ideally, but like the thing we just don't fully understand is like, what level are these teams going to push these guys? Ethan Salas got up to Double-A last year. He's in high A right now. He's going to go to Double-A. He might make the majors at the end of the year, or at least go to Triple-A. So I assume Vries is going to go to high A this year, start back at high A next year, and could push up to Double-A. So, to your point, 2026 might be the window for a guy like him. These special talents, they kind of break through, and it's the bat that makes it. For fantasy, it's really tough because Ethan Salas, there's so much we like about him, but he's a catcher, and he's a great defensive catcher, right, and his bat is still lagging a tiny bit. That's not the Leo thing.
It's not
so he is
fantasy profile. It's more of that great baseball player profile.
It is a fantasy profile. But it's overrated because of how exciting he is, right, and how he's advancing, where Leo's not the same exact situation. Like, this is a really high advanced bat, and watch out when the power starts developing, because he's like he's a big, thick dude. I saw him working out with, a lot of the drafted guys from the previous year. He was working out with Homer Busch and Dylan Head and Ethan Salas in camp this year. So it is a huge jump.
Guardians prospect Kyle Luzardo, who we talked about yesterday on the show, 3 for 6. So he continues to stay hot. Loperfido, 3 for 5 with 2 solo home runs. So he's up to 12 now on the air. And Elvis Martinez, all the guys you talked about yesterday, Welsh, all of them were great, and 3 home runs between them. So Martinez had a 3-run home run. Dude, this guy cannot be stopped right now. Martinez is on fire. He's got to get called up sooner than later.
And they just got to get Biggio off. They got to stop with the Biggio thing, and then just let Orelvis, whether you're playing second or whether you're playing third, just let him play one of those spots, or DH him. Just get his bat in the lineup.
Just get him in there. Yeah, who cares at this point? Also, get your comments in and subscribe to the FantasyPros MLB channel, because when you do, we're giving away this Trophy Smack Fantasy Baseball Championship belt. Again, subscribe to the channel, comment below. That's all you got to do to win this, courtesy of our amazing friends, our good pals over at Trophy Smack. It is a good-looking belt right there. Let me tell you, that's a good-looking belt. All right, so lots of rookie stuff. Let's get to 3 up and 3 down. Zach Wheeler, 6 shutout innings, 8 strikeouts. He's amazing. He is the leader right now in the National League in the Cy Young race, according to Vegas. Jurickson Profar having a really good April. Homer drove in 3 runs. Nice day for him. And my boy, Edouard Julien, after a little bit of a rough week a couple weeks ago, he's been back on track. The power's been there too. A home run, 2 runs. I like the power. The power was something I wasn't expecting from Julien, but I did tell you he's Jose Vidro's second coming. And so far, it's basically what we're getting. So that average is going to tick up a little bit over time. Don't worry, kids. Julien is the goods. 3
Joe,
down.
I got it, by the way. Convert. All I was saying, I was trying to say earlier, convert from like how miles to kilometers. I just realized, and it processed what I was saying. That's the process of White Sox to real teams. It's like converting miles to kilometers and what they are. Thank you.
You're just there. You go.
I would have interrupted anything you would have said to have attempted to sound coherent there, because like that was an absolute.
But I really just I hung you out there, not because I'm not a good friend. I hung you out there for the betterment of the entertainment value of the show.
Oh yeah, no, it was good.
I was
literally
hoping
drowning.
There was such a high percentage chance in the range of outcomes that we were going to get a Welsh.
I was trying so hard not to. You could literally just Photoshop some water under me when my hands are up. And it looks like I was drowning. It literally looked like I was drowning.
Here's a question from Michael. Julian or Morel? For me, it's Julian. This is not close. Sorry.
I'd have to look at Morel's. I don't know if this is not close. I haven't looked at Morel's numbers in a little bit.
I'm a Julian guy.
Yeah, and Julian's kind of on the uptick again. Yeah, this is exactly what we said about Chris Morel. He's back on that, now I'm hitting 205. I will say with Morel, great hard hit numbers. His expected batting average is almost 70 points higher than it currently is, and the lowered K percentage. Ooh, you know what? I want to say Julian. I might throw Morel. I think, Morel is a good buy low candidate right now if he was dropped, because there's some good underlying metrics that are in his favor. Move up the lineup with Bellinger out there. Can steal a little bit, but Julian is the safer option. And yeah, we'll go with Julian.
3 down yesterday. Nick Martinez, 5 runs, 11 hits. Gross. Freddie Peralta. Oh, Freddie, he was so good, but he was bound to have a hiccup. It was not a good start for him. He just wasn't. He just wasn't there. 5 hits, 5 runs, no decision. Was walking some guys. Only lasted 4 2/3. He had been so dominant, he was bound for one of these disappointing starts. Now, Freddie Peralta of old, might have more than one of these. I want to see the new Freddie Peralta bounce back and be dominant in the next one next week. Mitch Keller, 4 runs, 6 hits, 5 innings. No bueno, not good for him. The injuries, good news. Ozzie Albies, now back from the 10-day injured list. Nolan Jones still out of the lineup again. So I don't know what we're doing here. Put him on the IL or something here, because this is very frustrating for the fantasy managers out there. Jackson Merrill scratched from the lineup yesterday with a tight right groin. We knew Zach Geloff was going to go on the IL with the oblique, and he did. Gavin Williams, though, was shut down after throwing for at least a week now. He's going to have to be shut down. So we'll see with the new discomfort in the elbow. That's not usually a good sign. But the good news is Keibert Ruiz coming back. So if you're looking for more catching help, if you're somebody that lost Francisco Alvarez, you have an opportunity here with Keibert Ruiz. We talked about Darno, Elias Diaz. There's a bunch of guys out there that you can kind of patchwork things together. And most importantly, Max Scherzer, next rehab start is going to be Tuesday for Double-A Frisco. Well, so let's map it up. If he goes Tuesday, then maybe he makes one more start on the Sunday and then loops back around maybe Thursday of 2 weeks from now, I think.
No, I don't believe so. I believe it's at least 2 more starts in the minors. At least. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He wasn't good in that start.
Old. So okay. What? Verlander wasn't good in his either. Nope. These old guys, they don't want to waste it.
He's had no spring.
Max Scherzer doesn't want to be making starts in Double-A.
Well, I don't think the Rangers care what Max wants. Max had no spring training.
You will care when he's staring down into your soul with those 2 colored eyes of his.
I will guarantee you there's at least 2 more starts. I think it's mid-May, so it's the one coming up and the one after. I do want to point out, though, I don't think you saw it. It probably would have been leading potential conversation at the show, but and unless I completely missed, I'm a disaster today unless I missed hear you say it, but did you see the Jesus Luzardo news?
No, I did not.
Okay, so you did not. So then Jesus Luzardo,
I knew he wasn't starting, but I did not know why.
He was scratched due to elbow discomfort, so he is going for an MRI. So that is again almost warranted at the top of the show type of stuff.
You hear that? It sounds like Max Meyer getting a phone call.
That's actually the very first tweet I got was Max Meyer has to be coming up. And I was like, yeah, sure. Because they literally don't have anybody else. There's nobody. I don't know what they're going to do. This is like a movie. They're going to just start having position players have to start pitching or getting guys off the street. So just wanted to point that out because that is maybe the biggest, most important news of the day was this is another arm going down. Another one. And now we don't know the severity of it, by the way. He just felt discomfort. They're going to go check it out. But how many times does this not lead to the worst?
When is it ever? He felt discomfort. That's okay. Everything's fine. It's never that. It's never, ever that.
So you should be praying that Max Scherzer comes back in your leagues if he's sitting out there because guys like Luzardo are continuously falling.
Well, and this just stinks because we know we had Craig Mitch on the show earlier this year. And he told us that they had been shopping him, but they weren't getting the deals that they wanted. So they were going to hold him until, into season and see, what was around there. And now, this is feeling shades of almost the Frankie Montas thing with the A's a couple years ago. And then they dealt damaged goods to the Yankees because they were so desperate. I don't know what's going to happen here from Luzardo, but this is another pitcher we're going to lose here. That would be interesting too. What can we pull up the FantasyPros draft ranking? the consensus pitcher ranking from this year and how many guys are still pitching in the top 25.
I mean, I might guess half of them are gone or not.
I don't think it's half. I think that's absurd. But
I will say
it's wrong.
we are seeing I wonder if there's even a little bit tiny bit more of teams being extra cautious, like the Gavin Williams thing. Gavin Williams, he kind of kept having these little setbacks, and they kept having him throw out here, and it's falling apart. I think they will baby this situation with Jesus Luzardo, but the best case scenario is it is just like some type of a strain, and he can sit back, which is probably for a month or so, and then I would fully expect him to be traded, but that's going to kill a lot of value on it.
All right, so I have a list here. It's not ours. So tier 1, Spencer Strider, he's out. Tier 2, Corbin Burns, he's good. Zach Wheeler, good. Castillo, good. Kirby, now good again. Zach Gallen, Pablo Lopez, Kevin Gossman, tenuous there, but now good. So tier 2, safe. You ready for tier 3? Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Logan Webb, Scooble, Nola, Max Fried, back. Freddie Peralta bad yesterday. Framber Valdez hurt. Blake Snell hurt. Okay, so maybe it's better than we think so far. Logan Gilbert, brilliant, greatest pitcher ever. Grayson Rodriguez, just coming off a bad start. Bobby Miller on the IL. Zach Eflin, he's been up and down. Luzardo hurt now. Joe Ryan's been great. Reagan's lately not been great. Steele on the IL, but it's not an arm thing, so we'll give him a pass. Joe Musgrove's been underwhelming. Cease has been good. Tanner Bybee's been up and down. Tier 5, Sonny Gray, Chris Sale, Chris Bassett, Michael King, Hunter Green, Shane Bieber, gone. Bailey Ober, Merrill Kelly, IL. Jose Barrios, who's been very good. So it's been mixed. It's been a mixed bag. I think that's the safest thing to say. This next grouping, though, the tier 6 grouping, oh my God. Listen to this. Shoto Imanaga, brilliant, right? After that, Carlos Rodon, Yu Darvish, IL, Mitch Keller's terrible. Justin Verlander just got back. Christian Javier, he's been good, but again, you never know.
Well, he was
Jordan Montgomery, he's on the IL. That's right, I forgot he did go on the IL. Jordan Montgomery, he just got back. Nick Pivetta, Bryce Miller, Hunter Brown, who was awful. Walker Buehler's still not back yet. Tristan McKenzie's elbow's falling off. Brandon Pfaadt, he's good. Eovaldi, IL, and Garrett Cole hasn't thrown a pitch yet. Tier 6 has been misery so far. Misery. And it's not even May 1st, folks. It's not even May 1st. Yeah, it's pitching, folks. It's pitching.
Convert pitching to happiness, because it's a tough thing to deal with.
There you go. You got to use your conversion. Lee G wants to know, hey, Joe, you're a Mets fan. Ugh. Any expectations for JD Martinez? Yeah, I mean, I think he will be, he will hit for some power. The batting average will be a little underwhelming because he's another year older. You just got to hope this isn't the year where it falls apart. But the fact that he's had, been struggling to get up to speed is not great. It doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. Casey's got a good one. Jackson Churio or Corbin Carroll in Dynasty Welsh.
I'd still go Carroll. I mean, I am fading on Carroll right now, but my redraft dislike of Carroll right now is not the same as my dynasty. I did bump him down a few spots, but I haven't taken Carroll out of my top 10 because also, let's say this is a shoulder issue. It doesn't mean it's going to be the rest of his career. And we saw what again, we are continuously, because we can't get any information. I talked to Steve Gardner about this. Why will no reporter bring this up like every other day about what's going on with the shoulder? Why are pitchers throwing you high and upside? Why can't you hit them? Like, if it is an injury, which we're speculating on, it'll clear. Or he just sucks. And I don't think he just sucks. I think it is a this year issue. So my redraft versus dynasty value is different. I would be buying Corbin Carroll with big discounts. And not that Churio and Carroll are massively crazy, 50, 60, 70 spot difference in dynasty. But yeah, I would take Carroll in that instance.
I know people are talking about, JD Martinez was so good last year. Yeah, he was. Let's also remember where he was hitting and what lineup he was hitting in. And let's also remember too, these guys start to get into those 30s. Like, think about those DH guys, like Big Papi. Eventually, after so many good years, it did go south. Even Nelson Cruz, right? 2021, he had still 30-something home runs. And then, the bottom kind of dropped out, and then that was it. So that does happen. So I'm just saying I would be concerned with it. But I think if he's out there and need a bat, absolutely. Would you rather have Michael Busch rest of season or JD Martinez?
Michael Busch, easy.
Okay, why? Why easy?
Because he's good, and JD Martinez hasn't played, and JD Martinez has been DH only. The Mets have struggled. I like JD. I know where you're going with this because JD was really good last year, but he didn't have much of a market, which seems to be telling. He couldn't
Well,
get
he wasn't
healthy
just really
early
good.
on.
He was great. 33-103 with an 893 OPS. That's better than good. Like,
Okay, but
that is the Michael Busch ceiling of all ceilings for 2024.
But I can also say Michael Busch because he's been consistent, 266 average, 6 homers. I could just
He is
give you
on
the
pace for
color.
a season similar to this, but then again, this week was trash for him. 11 strikeouts in the last 7 days. He hasn't hit a home run since that streak where he's hitting one every single day. So it has been a little up and down. Look, I'm just saying it's kind of interesting when you think about it. Yeah, Busch is on pace for that, but he's never played a full season in the major league. So that's
and JD's a DH only guy. Like, I get why, like, JD Martinez, if he's sitting out on the wire, I have shares of him and I get to finally put him in my lineup after a month. And if he's sitting on the wire, I would pick him up. But when it's versus a guy, like, I don't care about what Busch has done the last week. He's got an almost 20% barrel rate. His XBA is higher than his current batting average. He is red beyond red as far as the baseball savant side, which all that tells you is, like, he's in the upper percentile of hard hit and barreling and expected slug, and he's hitting in a good friendly ballpark where he gets to hit in the middle. I'm going to take the younger guy who's got a couple position qualifications, who I would love for JD Martinez to be right now, even though I know you could see I want Michael Busch to be what JD Martinez was last year. It might be even, but I'll definitely take Michael Busch.
It's that time again, boys and girls. It's time for the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. Make sure you place your bets over at bet365. Bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when you do with that promo code leading off. But again, that's only when you sign up for bet365 with that promo code leading off. Welsh, I'm going to keep things simple today. Orioles with Corbin Burnes on the mound against the A's. Yes, please. In fact, I'm going to move this run line from 1.5 to 2.5, and I'm going to take the plus money. Now, if you don't want to do that, you could still get it at a decent number in the minus 1.5 range. It's going to be somewhere around the minus 110 mark at most. That's fine. Even if it's 120, you'll still take that. That's cool. But if you do want to push it a little bit, if you're as confident as I am that the Orioles are going to dominate the A's, and I am, you can get plus money on it. The Yankees, 1.5 on the run line, plus 140 against the Brewers. I like that one too. The Yankees have been terrific. Like, we can't, you look up at the standings, they're the Yankees without Garrett Cole. It is because of the offense. Good situation this weekend too for them going against the Brewers in that ballpark. I like the offense there. And then the Phillies on the money line, minus 110 against the Padres today. Good matchup on their side. So normally I'm not going for those road teams, but I like both of the Yankees run line and the Phillies money line today. The Yankee run line plus 140. That's a great number there. Your leading off parlay of the day from Joey P is this: the Orioles minus 2.5 on the run line, plus 122 versus the A's, and then put that Yankee number with the 140. You put those two things together, and if the Orioles kick the crap out of the A's, like I think they can, and the Yankees have a comfortable victory, next thing you know, that's 4-1 odds you're getting on that. So, Welsh, what do you have for the people on this fun Friday?
All right. Well, I'm joining you in the Baltimore love. I actually was trying to find every way to bet this to see if I could play first fives or first five up by a run, and they just don't make sense. You're going to have to put them with something. They're just too juiced up. So I actually really like your idea of the alt run line there. Even though Oakland has shown some offense, they just beat up on the Yankees. But I'm going to take Baltimore with Corbin Burnes minus 1.5, as you mentioned, at 120. Baltimore is third scoring in MLB. Oakland is the second worst. Stripling's got a 5.5 ERA. Burnes has in the mid twos. So I feel comfortable about the pitching matchup, the offensive side as well. Gunnar Henderson all day. So I like Baltimore minus 1.5 on the run line. Next up, I'm going to the Arizona Diamondbacks first five money line. That's minus 125. Zach Gallen. This is up against the Seattle Mariners. D-backs are still first in first five scoring on the year, and they're over that number over in the last 3 games. They've been at the tippy top. They're the number 1. Seattle is bottom 10 in scoring through the first 5. And Gallen's matchup, even though he's been a little bit wishy-washy, we've seen Seattle's offense just kind of struggle in general. So I like that. You could play the run line too. You actually get plus money on this with the Diamondbacks, but give me money line just in case, so I can push if it is their same score. This is my danger of danger zone here. I was the greatest no-run first inning better for the first 2 weeks of the season. Mm-hmm. I am the fade of fade over the last week. I think I've gotten the last 5 wrong. I'm just continuously wrong. But I'm going to go back. So I warn you now, you can fade me on that. This is the most algorithmic of algorithmic plays on the planet, and this is why I'm doing it. Mets, St. Louis, no run first inning, -120. Mets are the worst first run scoring team in baseball. Cardinals are the 7th worst scoring first run team in baseball. The Mets have the 4th highest no run first inning percentage in baseball at 83% to not score a run. Cardinals, 80%. That's 8th worst. These offenses stink. We got the booty man and we got Michaelis up there, which are not great matchups, but this is all about an algorithm. Fade the hell out of me on the no run first innings because it's been bad, but I think this is the one that gets us right. So that's my third bet here.
There you go. When in doubt, put your trust in Jose Buto. That's what you do, baby. That'll do it for our Friday best bets of the day. Make sure you subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel, and don't forget to join our group, bettingpros.com/leading off. Remember, the best better of the month is going to win a prize here. And don't forget, if you haven't already, download the Betting Pros app and use the greatest tools in the history of the planet when it comes to sports wagering. All right, Welsh, when it comes to the home run board, it looks a little something like this. I'm still in the top 10. That's where I want to be. You're close. Mitch Haniger was a bust yesterday. I can't believe Ty France hit a home run for mayor. That's just unsettling. But I don't see him on this list. I don't see Wonky Penguin either, which is kind of upsetting. Like, we give
Just
you crap about it, but where's the Wonky Penguin? Where's the rest of the leading off crew who works here representing? I'm looking for my pals here, and I want to see them on this home run board. I'm going to go back to the stars because yesterday I went non-star and I did not get a home run despite all the good numbers there. So I'm going to go with Juan Soto for the weekend in Milwaukee because that's a good home run hitting ballpark. And I don't have to face Freddie Peralta if I'm Juan Soto. And that's the only guy that really scares me in that rotation. So keeping it simple, let's go with the one Juan. What are you doing, Welsh?
I am going to Atlanta, and I'm going to pick on Logan Allen, who's got a over 14% home run to fly ball ratio, and I'm going to take Austin Riley. So Austin Riley is going to be my pick, I guess, in like through the weekend, unless I make a decision and I go over to our own Discord and I go into the home run room. I can change that call. So, for us, I'm taking Austin Riley through the weekend, but I don't know. I might get something up my craw and be like, I want to take this guy, and I'll just go in and I'll have the bot record my home run bet and pray to God that I can get on the home run board sometime soon.
Well, if anything, doesn't work out for you, you could always bring back the wheel. And you could always join our Discord at fantasypros.com/chat. It's free. And again, don't forget, every single Wednesday, we're here after the show. For the show after the show, after leading off, go to cleaning up on our Discord and chat with us. And now I've got all the systems working finally, where it's not going to be a problem and I'll actually be on the show on time. That was so annoying. I hate it. It's saying it literally says it's reading the microphone at the other station I'm at, all these things. I've used it in other meetings. It's just on Discord. It doesn't want to work. I don't know why.
It's pretty funny. It was pretty funny every time. I will say also, make sure you're here Monday because you guys aren't going to get a full slate of me next week. And I know everyone's going to be so sad. You have all the dead space and uncoherent sentences put together because Bogman will be in halfway through
not incoherent.
Yeah, see, I'm done. All right. So bye, everybody. I'm gonna go. You can look at my background, Joe. I'll be here Monday. Probably never again. Bye.
Welsh is going to be a Great Wolf Lodge, I think, trying to avoid getting some sort of hoof and mouth disease because that's what water parks do. So Welsh is gone. That just leaves me, Joey P. It's Friday. Go home early today. Go watch some baseball. Go have some fun. Go watch the NFL draft. Join us tonight for night 2 on our Fantasy Pros main channel too. We're going to be there for all of it. So that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for what used to be the Welsh. I'm Joey P. I guess we'll see you Monday, kids. Have a great week.